Good morning, students. I welcome you all in online English class. Today we are going to start our chapter The Happy Prince, which is written by Oscar Wilde. Before starting the chapter, let us read about Oscar Wilde, the author. Oscar Wilde, who was born in 1854 and died in 1900, wrote, "No great artist ever sees things as they really are. If he did, he would cease to be an artist." What does it mean? It means that every artist sees inner beauty of everything. If he does not see that, that person cannot be an artist. This author was a great Irish born. He was born in Irish, and he was a playwright, novelist, fictionist, and poet. He got many prizes and also won the gold medal in 1874. His work was The Happy Prince and the Other Stories 1888, The Picture of Dorian Gray 1890, and An Idle Husband 1895. Now about the chapter. This chapter is basically a fairy tale. The Happy Prince is purely a fairy tale. It has all the characteristics of a fairy tale, like imaginary characters, far from reality, and happy ending. As we read about fairy tales, what do we learn from fairy tales? That all the character in that story is always imaginary. Then all the things whatever had that happened in that story is fiction, and fairy tale always end with a happy mode. Now character sketch. Main character of the story are the Happy Prince and the Swallow. Other minor characters are the seamstress, the little boy, the playwright, the little match girl, and last one is the beautiful angel. Now let us learn about the characters one by one. The Happy Prince and the Swallow. Why does we call a prince a happy prince? Because he used to live in a palace whose walls were so high that sorrows were not allowed in that palace. So he used to dance every time, he used to sing every time. So everyone used to call him the Happy Prince. Everyone named him as a Happy Prince. The swallow. The swallow was a bird who worked as a messenger for the statue of Happy Prince. When that Happy Prince died, a statue was set up high that he could see all the ugliness and miseries of the city which he couldn't see while he was alive. So that swallow worked as a messenger for the statue of Prince. When the statue donated both of his eyes, Swallow stayed with him forever. He started living with the statue of the Happy Prince. Other minor characters, the seamstress. The first poor in the story is seamstress. She is portrayed as a thin and worn-faced woman with cords and red hand. She has a baby and he is lying ill on the bed. He has a fever and asking for oranges, but that lady was that much poor that she cannot afford oranges for her boy. Next one is the playwright. The second poor is a young man whose hair is brown and crisp. His lips are red as a pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. He is trying to finish a play for the director of a theater, but it is too cold that he was unable to write anymore. So there was no fire in the grate, and hunger had made him faint. He was the second character in the story. Then the little match girl. That little girl was used to sail her matchstick, but all the matchstick were fell into a river in the water. That now no one was interested to buy all those matchstick. Last one is the beautiful angel. An angel was signed with the task by the god to bring two most precious things in from the city. When he brought the landed heart and dead swallow, you have rightly chosen, said the god. The good deeds of whomever and whatsoever, a happy prince, be paid faintly by the god. Now, let us learn about the story. What is the story about? There is a statue of the happy prince in the middle of a really unhappy town. Yes, I already told you, when that happy prince died, a high statue was set up in the middle of the city and of an unhappy town, so that he could see all the miseries of that town. One day, a swallow comes to sit on the statue. The swallow sees the happy prince crying and asks him why. Yes, when that bird came and sit on the foot of that statue, he observed that something is dropping on his head. The sun was shining. Then he notices that the prince was crying and asks why he was crying at that time. The prince says there is too much sadness in the town and that the swallow should take all the jewels of the statue and give them to those who need them. Yes, when the prince said he cannot move and cannot help those people who are waiting for the help and needed help. So the prince said to the bird that it could take all the jewels, whatever he was wearing, and give them to the people who are needy. But then the swallow never flew away with the winter and dies. Yes, when that bird gave eyes of the prince to the playwriter and other person and the little girl obviously, then he worked as a messenger of the happy prince and never went back to his home and died there only due to the cold, due to the winter season, and died there only on the foot of the happy prince. Also, the greedy mayor of the town does not think the statue is beautiful anymore without the jewels and orders for the prince to be melted down. Then a greedy mayor came and ordered that as all the jewels were taken out to help all the needy people, so the greedy mayor thinks to melt down the statue, but they find that prince lead heart won't melt, so they threw it out. That statue was melted out, but the prince heart was not melting, so they threw it away with the body of that bird. Though through the story, an angel who has been ordered by God to find out two most precious things he can find in the city, bring them back to him. The angel brings back the lead swallow and lead heart, and God is happy and says that the swallow will now sing in paradise garden forevermore, and the happy prince shall preach for me forever in the city of gold. When द एंजल वॉज आस, जब एंजल को कहा गया कि तुम्हें इस अर्थ की सबसे प्रीशियस चीज़ को लेकर आना है, देन द एंजल फाइंड आउट दैट डेड बर्ड एंड द हार्ट ऑफ दैट प्रिंस. देन द गॉड वॉज हैप्पी. जो भगवान थे वो बहुत खुश थे, क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा कि यही दो चीज़ें हैं जो उस अर्थ पर सबसे ज़्यादा प्रेशियस थी. तब उन्होंने कहा कि जो बर्ड है वो यहाँ पर जो पैराडाइज का स्वर्ग का गार्डन है वहाँ हमेशा गाएगी, और जो हैप्पी प्रिंस है वो हमेशा प्रेज किया जाएगा. सो दिस वॉज ऑल अबाउट द स्टोरी. वट वॉज द थीम देन? आउटवर्ड ब्यूटी इज नथिंग. It is just a show. The real beauties are love and sacrifices. Yes, this is the moral of the story that outward beauty, जो हमारी बाहरी ब्यूटी होती है, ये कुछ भी नहीं है, ये सिर्फ एक शो है. जो हमारी रियल ब्यूटी है, it is inside us. It is love and sacrifice. Love and sacrifices are two saving forces. लव एंड सेक्रीफाइसेस हैं जो सेविंग फोर्स हैं, जो हमें बचा सकती हैं बुरा बनने से. सो वी शुड स्प्रेड लव एंड वी शुड सेक्रीफाइस आवर सेल्फ टू हेल्प others. I hope you enjoyed the story. This is all about today. Thank you. Have a good day.